geometry in primary classes. So, the ability to understand shapes allows children to recognize and of different geometric shapes. For example, we have some kind of segments, circles, squares, rectangles, and other elements like curved lines, broken lines, segments again, rays, angles, and polygons. So, why do we need this? To explain them for pupils, it will be enough to explain them in their forms, like you can show them pictures. For example, it's parallelogram, pentagon, rhombus, triangle, square, rectangle, and again parallelogram, and other shapes. So, it's the same with geometric bodies. You can draw them like this on your board or in presentation, and after that you can ask them which figure can you see on this picture. So, can you tell me what this is? Okay, what about this? No, it's pentagon. Okay, what about this? Rhombus, yes. What about this? It's quite similar to pentagon. Hexagon. Okay, what about this? Triangle. Okay, and this is square. Okay, what about this? It looks like square, but not rectangle. Yes, thank you. So, sometimes if we change their forms or their positions, kids can just make mistakes in naming these shapes. For example, I can show you here, like on this picture, kids can see that this is a square. They don't know what is the shape, but it's a square, but it's just located a little bit different. Sometimes they can see a rectangle here, and they can say that this is a triangle. They start thinking that this is another figure, but it's important to explain them that sometimes figures can be in different places, in different forms and locations. Okay, so understanding of the geometry figures is the first stage of forming geometry view of the child. In the future, it's essential to focus their attention on the characteristics and choosing elements from which they are formed. For these shapes need to be learned a certain sequence with doing practical work. For example, let's talk that simply geometric element. Do you know what is the simplest geometric element? How do you think? What is the simplest geometric element? No, just much more smaller than line. 3, 2, 1, no, it's a point, just a point. So, if we put some points in the different locations, we can connect them, and we can take a figure, and we can do various type of figures out of points. For example, which geometric element did I draw with color of line? Thank you. It's a triangle. So, after that, the same thing with the lines. We need to explain them the different varieties of points on the lines, like points of intersections of two lines. So, we can see two lines which are crossing each other, and we have one point which is located in the middle of these two lines, and it will be called like point of intersection. So, in this example, point B is an point of intersection between these two lines. Okay, in the next stage is line passes through point. So, it means that we have a line and one point is located on it, like A. A is line passes through point A. Line connects 2 points. So we have 2 points, and between them we have one line which makes them connected with each other. Like we have a line and we have 2 points, K and L. And here it will be that line connects points K and L. Point belongs to line. So we have a line, for example, line A, and we have a point which is B. So point B belongs to line A. It belongs to line A because it's located on it. That's why we need to practice more with children. We can give them some tasks, some elements, some samples when they can connect lines with points, just to make them practice and learn how to do this. So while explaining segments, it's important to highlight its features, like it has endings. For example, here is a segment. It has endings and it's drawn with ruler, because if they come to the blackboard or if they want to draw some kind of long segment, they can do it straight without ruler. It's the main thing on our lessons about geometry. Each segment can be measured by length. So we have the length. Our length is measured between centimeters, millimeters, diameters, and etc. So when we draw a segment, we must fix its endings by 2 points. Its endings. For example, here we have 2 points which is located on the segment. Here I make a little mistake just for your attention. We needed to put here some points, yes? And it would be a real segment. Because in a straight line, we don't fix these points. For example, where can we have a straight line? For example, what? Here. It's a segment, yes, because it has its points in its ending. But if we look on these and these lines, we don't see its endings, yes? Especially here. Here we have the beginning. So it's just a simple line. It is called a straight line. Yes. And also we have rays. Ray has just 1 point at its beginning, but it doesn't have endings. Just we have a point A which begins our line, and from this point you can make a straight line with a row, and it will be called a ray. So here we have a ray A and B. So it begins at point A and it goes to the line B. It's ray because it doesn't have endings. So sometimes we can make 2 lines which will go from 1 point. For example, here it's an angle, yes? If we put a point here, so we will understand that this angle comes from the point, for example, A, yes? And it has 2 straight lines. Yes, this is angle. That's all. Thank you for your listening.